Hey everybody, it's Travis from Crew Gear back at you once again. This is a very short video from Michael T. Cecil, one of my longtime glove associates, aficionados, artisans, and purveyors of all things creepy and dream related out there. Michael, you needed a little bit of assist on your Part 1 razor glove. I was happy to oblige, so this video is going out to you. Hopefully we'll answer those questions. Everybody else, obviously the camera is rolling, videos are working, which only means more can't be far behind. Catch you later. Let's go against the big black board, or white wall. Black board, shall we? Yes, let's. Walking into my room to show Michael T. Cecil. Enough light? Possibly. Yeah, that's really good light. Okay, here we go, guys. It'd be helpful if I had a bulb here, which I kind of do. I may put that on, I don't know. Alright, so Mike, let's make sure we're in focus. Let's go closer. Oh, fuck. The eternal itching nose of Travis Cecil. Hold on, guys. May just edit that out. All right, so basically, here we have the. Hey, Trav, getting back at the camera, buddy. There we go. Let there be light. So here we have Trav's Becker clone, and you haven't seen it in a while. It's pretty ragtag because it's being thrown in the box and taken apart and put back together again, so, you know, it's aging naturally. And you can see the blade's broken, but we can solder that back on. So what are we talking about? Let's deal with issue number 1. Michael, who we spoke on the phone a little bit, wanted to know, when you have the glove worn properly, and by the way, Mike, this is pretty accurate as to how the glove is worn, more so part 2. There's a whole cinching methodology to this. I did it really quick, and this is a glove that I haven't done all the cut work on, so it's not holding properly as it should. It should be a lot more hangy, but for intents and purposes, very much like chaos theory, this is good for demonstration. Jurassic Park reference for you guys. So, here we've got the glove, and he wanted to know, first of all, how far does first thing he wanted to know is what size is the leather glove. And I told him, look, and people will comment on this, and there's still people who are going to disagree with me, but I'm pretty comfortable saying this. The leather glove itself was large for Part 1 and Part 2. That changed throughout the rest of the films, but that was his first question. And we're not going to go into why, because Michael and I have already talked about it, so we'll just continue. Michael, who I told, essentially you want a relatively snug fit, but how far does the index tip hang off of the tip of your index finger? Your actual finger? Well, it varies with finger length and everything else, but the rule of thumb, is you're looking at about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, depending. It does hang off, and it does ride back too. You can see once I start riding this back, it'll fall back and it'll extend, and that's because really, as I said on the phone, buddy, it really shouldn't start touching your finger. You should be able to have this range of movement, right? And that's why the ring placement is so important. It's why the bend degree of the backplate is so important. Of course, we know it actually does bend quite a bit in the original film because it's much thinner than the gauge I'm using here. But for all intents and purposes, again, we're going for shape rather than full, function, which I'll address at a much later date when all my stuff is finished and I can actually build for myself again. So, so you're looking at about that much hang, and really about that much positioning. Mind you, this glove hasn't been aged and weathered. It's really quite stiff yet. It's still got quite a bit of girth to the leather. When I break these guys down, these leathers, I really break them down, and they become much softer, a little bit thinner, and you can really tuck them in and stuff. But really, this is the fit you're looking for, buddy. You should be able to tuck your finger in there a little bit, and the seam should just start actually. You should be able to get it inside. If I can do this right, inside the tip. So, I don't want to bend it. And remember that this is really kind of the look you're going for, even though it's riding a little high on my finger. And the reason is, and I said this in many of my videos, because this scale is accurate, my hand is bigger than Robert's. Even though I wear the large glove, I can't jam my hand in the metal too much, because what will happen? I'll tweak the metal. So I'm going for accurate scale and size rather than fit for my hand. So I'm always very delicate. I really can't wear these anymore. I can wear them just enough to build. So that's my dilemma. But essentially, you know, look, it's not rocket science, right? You should be able to get your finger in about yay much. Okay, a little bit more. I'm just being very careful because I don't want to jam it. Now, so those are your two questions regarding the tip. So it hangs over 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch, depending, and it should start meeting the finger right about the midpoint. And let's talk about the middle. You wanted to know, and this kind of goes on the tip too. Does the middle have like an anvil shape? Yeah, it does. Look at how the light, we were talking about this, the light bleeds. I'm not getting total light in this room, of course. Let's do this, get a better silhouette. So the light, I'm being really careful so it doesn't fall off my hand. So the light picking up on, you can see the cornering, as I like to call it. It is a bit flat, right? You've got that anvil indent. And the thing is, all of the fingers have a bit of a groove under the blades where Lou, built them, whether it's very subtle, very, very subtle, or really, really strong. And while the middle tip has that wonderful, unique, telltale, off-centered, middle arc that you can almost kind of see here, it's as much as the shaping as it is the shape itself. And you can just make out, what if I took a light? Let's see here. There we go. See how long that lasts. You can, it's not going to really do much good, is it? But you can see it's off-centered. You see how that works? It's really got a prominent dip and a groove. And depending on the light, bud, like anything with these gloves, sometimes it looks like it's just rounded off, like here, right? And then you turn it over and it's like, man, this thing is really bent. But what's really evident is when you really start spinning this sucker around. And of course, look, I'm playing right now. This is not totally real. I've got the thing tucked. It's not totally cut right. This is not sitting properly on my finger. All the stuff I don't have time to do. I'm doing this really quick because I happen to have this camera handy and I happen to have the time to do it. So let's pretend that this is right. It's not, for all you guys looking at my gloves. Yes, I know it's not right. Blah, blah, blah. The way the leather is fitting. But, a lot of this is the shaping. And getting those round points into those anviled, cornerings, right? Remember I said, if you watch my last video on tips that I posted from the documentary, what is it? It's like water pushing on a bag, right? These aren't totally rounded over, guys. They are angled. You have these side creases, these seams on all of them. And each one has its own thing going on, right? Whoa! Good one, Trav. Score. Hold on. Take 5. You can see I'm a lot less, I have a lot less ego these days, guys. A lot less. So, let's do the classic pose if we can. Also, look, the middle tip is off-centered. It banks, the tip itself banks over this way, to the right. Okay, that's how you get that thing when he splays it out. It's like that really weird, that cool fucking look. But the stall itself, we didn't talk about that, but you can see it angles like on a curve that way, whereas the tip goes that way. It's a really tricky thing, and the blade also banks that way as well. So keep that in mind. It's got a lot of things happening, running against itself. And what I'll do is, I'll do a quick spin around for you, so you can kind of see how it works. Really, really quick. I don't mind showing this, because I know I've got 100 hours of tip footage I still haven't uploaded from the documentary, so just take this for what it's worth. And this is, by the way, this is the DESA Becker clone. This is not the DESA Ultimate Edition 2.0, which I did a couple of slight modifications, but it's not worth mentioning here. This is pretty damn accurate for what we need to talk about and our purposes at the moment. So here is a really quick spin around of how this works. You can stop it, frame it, call me a liar, say I'm wrong, whatever you want to do. Okay? But I'm just going to show you. Remember that the index blade juts into the tip housing, right? You kind of see how that happens. It's like you've got what, a millimeter underneath. It doesn't sit right on top. It's beyond flush. And remember, it's got all these lovely little shapes happening. Okay, so that's that. And this part here is pretty, you've got a little bit of a groove, but not crazy time. Right? All right. And the middle beast of the middle, and you're all going to call me, oh, he's crazy, or whatever. This is how I see it, guys. And this matches up, so it matches up. All right, so this is off the documentary, Off Never Sleep Again. This is how I matched up this glove. You all know that by now. And that being said, yes, there are teeny tiny micromillimeter inaccuracies that I have fixed for the Ultimate Edition, but we're not showing those until next year when my orders are done, so you'll have to take my word for it. But this is, you know, man, this is 98% there. So take it for what it's worth. I'm happy with it, and it's good enough to demonstrate the basic shape, how all this works. And you can see it's round from the top, right? As soon as you start turning it over, you can start seeing all these little teeny tiny bends, right? Deliberate, every single one of them. So this is how this finger kind of works. Right? Pretty straightforward. Crazy, right? See that it has a little bend? I'm having deja vu right now. See that little bend? It's not just the shape, right? It actually contorts and tucks under. And then you've got this really prominent fantail thing happening over here. And then, Michael, here you go. That's too extreme. Travis is wrong. Well, this is how I build gloves. I don't think I am. It's okay. I'm just having fun with it, guys. But, you know, Michael, this is how I see it. Remember that, okay? This is because you asked, and this is how I see the bend pattern on the middle across the anvil. Pretty tricky. You follow? So there you go. Pretty neat. Okay? And that should hopefully answer your question to at least a moderate degree. And I hope you've had a good time. And I hope this has been helpful. I hope it hasn't been too boring. And when I have some more time at a later date, we'll do this again. You can buy the beer. Okay? And it's my pleasure. So take it easy. And let's hope I have enough power to upload this.